Okay, so, dang it. I told myself not to say okay, so. But I did anyway. Alright. It is. I don't like that flickering light. Okay, it is. Uh, March 30th, 2024, and it's the middle of the night. It's 1:58, almost 2 a.m. I've been up for almost an hour, and it's been a lot. Um, you know, overall, I've been making progress, and I have my good and my bad days, and I'm kind of in the middle of a family crisis. It takes a little toll emotionally, but I've been up for about an hour before this, so I've kind of been thinking and just gonna spit some things out. I feel like I'm infected again. Um, you know, the Sum 41 album, what was it, over a decade ago. I was first attracted to it because of the title, Does This Look Infected? And, the being sick all the time isn't something new into adulthood. I've always struggled to fight off infections. I was a very sick child, hence like the whole autoimmune thing my doctor is trying to figure out. Blah blah blah. Medical history. I feel nauseous. My results came back. Yes, there's uh, at least bladder infection. Well, my bladder's in chronic condition. That's not new. There might be something else going on. I'm pretty sure my jaw is starting to get infected. Um, I picked up my medicine today. I I did my 3 hours of therapy still. On I don't know 5 to 6 hours of sleep. I maybe pushed it a little too far, but it was worth it. I got to see my dad in ICU. You know, you know, even though, oh, and by the way, I'm not contagious type of infected, or I wouldn't have went to see my dad because I wouldn't want to pass it on to him. It's not that kind of infection. But anyway, um, I I'm glad I got to see him, even though he wasn't awake. But if there was a chance he could hear me, I wanted to tell him I loved him and just kind of be there with him. And it was about a 2-hour bus ride, and I stayed as long as I could, and I really love my dad, and um, I have a lot of hope and faith he's gonna pull through. And I told him that you're gonna get through this, and we got your back. And my stepdad and I are working together into making sure he gets appropriate care and also working more like a family. I know for a while my stepdad and I didn't want to talk about the bad times, but um, this is a time for family, you know, and um, not only does my dad need us, Jupiter needs us too, and um, her birthday's next week, and we'll get there when we get there. Um, Trying to make sure, you know, we can do what we can do for my dad and still try to give her a good birthday too, and I get to see her today. It was 2 in the morning, so in about 12 hours, but it's a 3-hour bus ride there, so um, I got some better stuff to do her hair to make putting the beads in easier. I had figured out last year, I just didn't remember until recently. I came across those pipe cleaners. When you twirl her hair on the pipe cleaners, it makes the beads easier to slide up the braids, and it just goes quicker, and you know, it's more efficient. And I've never been much of a hairstylist. Like, even when I had long hair, I just wear it down or throw it up or do the mohawk thing. But I really had, you know, taught myself. It was a learning process with my kids' hair, and so yeah, I'm excited to be able to put more beads in, and like it just be easier. I'm hoping if I have enough time to visit my dad, I'm going to call, of course, and if I don't have time to visit him after I see my kid, or I haven't decided before, because like I said, you know, I gotta make sure I can function too. It depends on how the morning goes, if I go down for another nap or not. Um, but after church, definitely, I want to go see him, and I want to talk to my friend taking me to church on Sunday about that, and I'm agnostic and all, and you know, like, you know, since the head trauma and just the whole traumatic year I've been through, everything I've been through, I kind of went from being atheist to ultimately agnostic, and a lot of people that have known me for a while think are kind of surprised. I started going to church and stuff, but I really find a sense of peace there, and it's a LGBT friendly church, which is really cool, and I get a sense of peace there. Kind of process some thoughts on a level like spiritual healing. Emotionally, I feel like it's good for me, and I feel safe, and you know, um, and I like going to church, and I didn't used to, you know, I don't believe in a particular faith or maybe really Christianity. I'm not sure. Like I said, I'm agnostic. I believe there's something bigger than us, be it God or the universe, or I find peace in that. Like in church, I can surrender. I'm not one to surrender in everyday life. I'm a fighter, even though I don't know how to fight. I still, I get back up. I keep going. I'm hard headed. But in church, I can surrender, and I like that too. About it, and kind of give thanks to God, um, and now I got a lot on my plate in regards to my health, housing situation, and where I'm at with, with the courts when it comes to getting my kid back. Because when you're homeless, they get involved. You have a kid. But I'm glad my stepdad and I are kind of putting aside our differences, um, and I'm glad him and my dad are stepping up and taking care of my kid while I'm trying to get my health together and get a place and all the requirements they want. Those are two of the biggest things, which I need to be able to take care of myself, to take care of my kid, and we need, for obvious reasons, a house, and I've been putting a lot of work and effort into it, and uh, it's looking more hopeful than ever throughout the last year, and just kind of rambling off things. I was thinking about the hour I've been up before this. Um, I've been taking off the nicotine patches at night since that last video I did about the nicotine dreams, but I still catch myself waking up talking. Like, I'll sleep talk myself awake, and I'll be in the dream talking to someone, and then I'll be still talking to them as I'm opening my eyes, and then I'll be like, oh shit, I'm sleep talking again. Never mind. Like, and then I go back to sleep. But I saw Death Clock on I had Adult Swim playing in the background before I crashed. I ain't seen Death Clock in a minute. That kind of kept me woke because it was a marathon. It was like the musical one when they had to go save Toki. And that was pretty. That kept me up. And then, of course, Rick and Morty would come on afterwards. Two of my favorite shows. I ain't seen Death Clock in a long time. I don't really watch TV unless it's Adult Swim, Rick and Morty, and I ain't seen Death Clock in a minute though. But typically I listen to music all day, and um, these motels have TVs, so I need background noise. Silence is really loud to me. I hear everything. Every tink, I have acute hearing. Like, I can't block out. That's another reason music helps me is, it blocks out all those little noises going around all the time. And even white noise is frustrating. It's like a fork to a plate. That's what white noise is to me. Like a fan. I remember one of my exes I was with for 7 years. Um, before I got with the person I had my kid with. But for 7 years, he was a fan person and had to have just the fan. No. We ended up sleeping in different bedrooms near the end of the relationship for more reasons than the fan, but it drove me nuts because he'd be sleeping like a baby and I'd just be cringing all night. I can't stand white noise. I need either music or like background TV. And I usually have my headphones in all day long, and I I had acute hearing for the longest time, but since that incident where I got the headphone speaker lodged into my eardrum and they had to remove it, and then I had to get a bunch of earwax taken out, I've noticed that I don't hear as well out of this ear, and it bothers me because my ears are vital. Because even before the skull fracture and this eye got knocked out of alignment, my good eye is now my bad eye. Like, I already had stigmatism in both eyes and my vision was going down. So like over time I'd already kind of, I don't know why, but people says it sounds weird when I say this, see with my ears. And I don't mean that in like a delusional, like weird, like for some reason that sounds crazy, but like, I could hear people walking up on me, like even before, all this, when we had a house. I remember Jupiter was trying to sneak a cookie, and I could hear from behind me. And I turned around, I'm like, ah! And she's like, how'd you know? Like, I was like, I have eyes on the back of my head. Just joking around. Because my mom used to say that to me. But no, I could hear. And she was trying to be quiet as possible, but I could hear. And it's kind of how, I can't see you unless you're right in front of me. And I always tell people who know me, if they see me walking around in public and want to say hi, to holler. Because I will straight up walk right past them, having no idea. I can't see. But if they holler, I can see. And I recognize voices more than faces. So, and it's weird because I think in images I'm very visual, but when it comes to music and like I can mimic music on instruments, or that's how I learn. I mimic, and that's how I get better when I teach myself. Like I've played piano, bass, and drums, and that's kind of my method, is learning through mimicking the songs I like. And I've written my own song on the piano when I was 12. Just, and then like recognizing people. But like when it comes to learning, it has to be visual or hands-on. Just someone talking to me in one ear, out the other. Um, and I learned through I think that is just like how my brain works. But the skull fractures made things worse with my audio processing skills. Like when people talk too fast, I cannot comprehend. And that's something I'm working on in speech therapy. And there's been a lot of times, I've told someone they have to speak slower, and they're like, I'm so sorry, I didn't realize I was speaking fast. Well, maybe they weren't, but in my brain, there's like this delay since the head trauma. But, I'm making progress. They're going to start me in both physical and speech therapy on dual processing, because they have noticed that, like, in physical therapy, one exercise, like doing exercises, I can't do the exercises and count on my own. I can't do those two tasks at once. And, like, I can't, if I'm moving, I can't keep a train of thought enough to count if maybe you don't know. I also struggle to verbalize things, which was an issue before. Well, like I said, I've had ADHD and shit, but it's just all been, you know, worse since the head trauma. I've been working on rewiring my brain, and dual processing sounds like it's gonna be rough because I already have enough trouble with that. And but I'm getting closer and closer to getting better, and 10 times better than last year. And there's still more battles, but I feel like by the end of the summer, I'm hoping I'll have enough strength and have my health together enough to manage and have a place. I better manage my health when I had a stable roof over my head 24/7. And, I want to get my kid back, and so there's still more to go. And, I'm trying to stay strong, but also try to stay aware of my limits physically and mentally and emotionally, and using coping skills. And I'm excited for my kid's birthday, and I know my dad's gonna pull through this. I'm gonna call every day. I'm hoping to see him after church, and which I'm sure my friend would take me if I asked. And and it's gonna be okay. Like I told my dad, it's gonna be all right. And things take time, and we're all doing our best. And yeah, just a midnight ramble. I really don't like my videos to go, it bothers me if they go over 30 minutes. I don't know. It's just too long. Because I might be looping for all I know. I forget what I've said so far. And I do have a problem with being repetitive because I forget what I say. Which I'm also working on in the therapy. And I'm trying to stay aware of my stress levels because we don't need another stress-induced seizure. I've been seizure-free all year so far of 2024, so that's good. That's the longest I've been seizure-free in the last 12 months, so yay. And I'm on a good medicine that I feel like has me more stable than I've ever been in my life, at least mentally. And also it's helped physically. I think a combo of the medicine and the 3 hours of therapy on Friday are benefiting me physically when it comes to the neurological things and the tremors and stuff. So, and yeah, I'm gonna end this because it's getting around 30 minutes long. But there's an update. I'm not sure how much more I'm gonna do. I almost feel like I want to kind of just emotionally, I want to withdraw from everyone. But I'm not. I love my dad. I love my kid. I want to go to church. I gotta keep going. I can't let the sadness, the situational, kind of depression get to me, get the best of me. This will pass, and it will be okay. And, yeah, if that makes sense. But I don't know if I'm going to do another update video for a minute. I don't know, maybe I'll feel better tomorrow. It helps to go off on these rambles that people may or may not. I don't care if anyone watches. It helps me to just go off on these rambles and kind of my little outlet. And yeah, I here's to one day at a time. And I love you, Jupiter. I love you, Dad, and I love you, Stepdad. And I love my friends, doctors, and caseworkers who have all been helpful. And, alright.